Hello, everyone. We are graphing piecewise functions. This is Miss Osier.
And Miss Lahar.
And here we go.
A lot of algebra skills needs to be happening here. All right, so basically you have to remember that you're going to have a couple different pieces in this graph. So if we look at those two equations, they're both going to be linear.
We have blue and an orange. Blue is Miss Lahar's favorite color. Orange is my favorite color.
So now we're going to talk about values. So when from, you can see we're restricted. From -3 to 0, we're on x minus
X minus 3, but it's not including 0. Here is where the 0 is included, so that's why we stopped just before the 0.
And that one's the other one. So I plug in all the values. This is me plugging in the values, plugging in the charts. You know, -2, plugging into x minus 3. Okay.
Now, I don't like it to, I don't want you guys to rely on your calculator to give you these values, but you can use your calculator to get all these values. I just want to warn you that you really need to pay attention to this. But you can type this into F1, this into F2, and you will get both functions. You just really need to pay attention to your intervals.
So from the switchover happens at 0. So here I go plugging in my points from -3 to 0. I do have to technically go to 0 of that blue equation, but it's going to be an open circle.
So see that 0 minus 3 is -3? We just need to know where it stops. But again, open circle.
Yep. So then we connect those dots, so that's that piecewise function. And then the other guy starts over. We start at 0, 4, and then we form him. Now, B, state the range of this. So now this is a little bit tricky because there's not pieces in the middle there.
Okay, so using interval notation. So again, if we talk about range, we want to start from the bottom and go up. So I have an arrow at the bottom, so I know I'm coming from -infinity, and I'm making it up to, but not including, -3.
Okay. Now that little symbol in the middle means and. Okay?
And then I have a big jump. I have a closed circle at 4.
Which should be a square parenthesis at 4.
And then we go up to positive infinity. So
Way
this
to
should be a
go.
bracket. Whoopsies. Bracket.
Anyway, that's how you do a thing. All right, now, so let's again talk about x and y intercepts, just to remind ourselves how to get these, because some people just like to start with the x and y intercept.
Yep. So we substitute 0 in for all of our options.
We're setting each of those equations equal to 0 to see which x intercepts are going to happen. So in that one, the only one we're going to get is -1. And then for our y intercept, that's pretty simple. Where x is 0, that falls between that middle x plus 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So there's our y intercept. And now I think we're going to go to graph these beautiful looking things.
Okay, so we have our intercepts already. And now we just, again, you could use your graphing calculator for this. You could use all sorts of different things.
I pulled the table up because I just picked a few values from, you know, on x is less than -3, so I can get that absolute function going. So that's what that one looks like. Then from -3 to 3, I still want to know what those points are, so I do fill in the chart.
You need to know where it starts. Even though it's not included, you need to know where to put your open circle for that function.
And that middle one's a linear, so I don't really have to be too worried about making sure it's a straight line. And then the last one, that's a little funky. I've never seen that guy before.
Oof.
But if you plug in some values bigger than 3, you'll get a flow going of what it should look like.
Really nice.
Yep. There we go. Now, the other thing you have to do is if we give you a graph, can you figure out what the equations were for this? So, like, working yourself backwards.
We're not going to give you anything super scary, like stuff that you can figure out.
Yep.
So I know that this is definitely 3 linear functions because they're all straight lines. I would extend them further than what you have here. But first thing we can do is find our domain. So -8, including, because it's a closed circle, -2. And then -2 to 3. You have to choose one to be including and one not to be including. So if they touch, just pick one.
Yep.
-2 to 3. And again, I'm on my x-axis here. And then 3 to 6.
So I go after my domain first just because it's easier. And then I grab some values because I have to have a slope. Okay, so I look at that, I continue the slope up, I see it goes through +7 for my y-intercept, and it's going up 3 over 2, up 3 over 2.
Now another option, because it is a graph, you could grab a straight edge and connect it, because your slope is going to be constant, that's going to work, and then that can get you that y-intercept, and you guys know how to count rise over run to get your slope.
Yep. That middle one's easy because it's just a straightforward 4, because it's a constant term. Okay, that other one I see, again, you would have to extend your line and it'll be up there. But if you were to think it through, it has a slope of -2, so it goes down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. And I just kind of thought my way back to the y-intercept and I got to +10.
Boom.
Right? And that's going the other direction.
That's it, boys and girls. Have a wonderful day. We will see you in class.